It is AP, and today we will be making our first game at HTML/JavaScript. Today we'll be setting it up / drawing our first rectangle, if you like to say that. Anyways, all you would need is a text editor. I'll be using Sublime Text because it has built-in language stuff that makes it autocorrect, sort of. But you can use like anything, Notepad, Notepad++. You can't use anything that like WordPad or Microsoft Word because it won't understand that. So what we need to do now is get our HTML document set up. So what we need to do is make it an HTML document. So we need to save this as a HTML document, and the first thing you need to do is name it index.html. Now, don't click save yet. You just need to go over here and make sure it is an HTML file. Click the one that says .html, not the rest. I don't even know what that is. So we're going to press save, and now it can autocorrect like HTML. And so it knows what it is, and then I can just make it easier for me. So the first thing we want to do is set it up, make it customizable. But that's not, I'm just going to finish that for right now. It's not that hard for me. Title's very good. So, call it tutorial. And that tutorial. And now, what the important thing is, we need to make a canvas element. So, what this is it makes a canvas element so we can draw on it. So, ID, that's an attribute that we need. Oh, and we're just going to call this canvas. That's simple. That's so we can refer to it later. Then we need a width and a height attribute. That's just what we need. So, also, we need to make it to where it acts like how. I'm just going to make it a standard browser. So it's going to be 800 by 600. And we need an end canvas, and that should be it for the head. But then we need a body. Oops. Body. And so what we need for the body is our script element, or what we're going to actually be. So we don't need this type. And so, because the new HTML, it already knows it's going to be JavaScript. So what we need is the source, or which file are we actually running this on. So we're just going to be calling this tutorial.js. So, source, okay. So source, this is probably all you need, unless you want to customize it, like add a background, CSS, all that stuff. But we're not going to be messing with that. Not in this episode, at least. So, what we need to do is we need to create a new file that's going to be called tutorial. Not tutorials, wrong thing. File save as. It is going to be tutorial.js. Now, before you save, of course, you need to make it a JavaScript thing, so it knows what it's talking about. So, now it's tutorial.js. And now it should autocorrect like far and then all that stuff. So what we need to do is we need to create our canvas and context variables. So the first thing is we need to define the variables, so the things know what we're talking about. And the next thing we got to do is we got to, define the variables. But we're not going to do that immediately. We're going to make a function called window.onload. So what this does, it is a function. So we're just going to make it a function. And what this does, it runs the script as soon as the window is loaded. So it doesn't run the script after, because then that messes a bunch of things up. But the first thing we need to do is actually need to define our variables. So what we need to do is we need to type document.getElement by ID, and then we just put it in strings, and we just call it what we call the canvas ID is just canvas. So canvas, and so the next thing we got to define is our context, and what this is, it's our actual drawing surface. Like the canvas, it just defines it, and then context is what you draw on. So later on, we'll be doing like context.fillRect, which is just drawing a rectangle. So what we need to do is we need to refer to the canvas, and we need to get the context, which is going to be 2D. So the next thing we got to do is we got to make a set interval. Before we do that, actually, we need to make a FPS, and I'm just gonna go on 60. It doesn't matter what you do. You can do 30. I'd recommend 60 because it's a lot faster. If you do 30, it gets choppier. But anyways, if it's FPS at 60, now we can revert to our set interval. So what the set interval function does, it actually repeats an action over and over again. But we're going to create a temporary function, I like to call it. And what this does, is it makes a one-time function for a one-time use. So what you can do, put in here is all the functions that you want to repeat over and over again, like the draw, update, and then update. And oh, not capital. Why would you ever put a capital? Oh, no! Okay. I hate when it does that because then it messes up all the text. Anyways, and then you can put like if, collision, or all that stuff. But today we're just going to be putting the draw. We're not going to do anything moving right now. The next thing we need to do is we need to see how long we need to do this. So how to determine this is you do 1000 divided by FPS. So what you need, why is I'm doing this? Because 1000 is 1 second, and then divided by frames per second is then how many frames per second. And then it'll show 60 frames per second. Like it's pretty much what it says. So anyways, that should be it for the window.unload function, but we're missing one more. We're missing the draw function. So after we do that, we got to type in the function draw to actually define what the draw function does. And this is when the context comes in handy. So when we want to do this, we need to type in context.fill style. And that equals what color you want your rectangle to be. I'm just going to say it's black. The next thing we want to do is actually draw the rectangle. So after you do that, we need to fill rect to, well, it's actually a function, but to make the rectangle. So we want it at the top left, which in programming is 0, 0. And if you go positive, it goes right, which is correct. But if you go positive, it goes down. If it's opposite, it's just weird like that, but it's there. Okay, and then we need to go to the top, bottom right, which is how big the canvas is. And so instead of doing like width and height, no, you need to do canvas dot width and canvas dot height. And so once we do that, we're just referring to the attributes of the width and height, the attributes. So after you do that, it should be done. So we're just going to save on both ends because, oops, I don't care about if I'm using a demo. So it should work, and if there's not, we'll do some bug fixing together. Anyways, so if we should open this, it should say tutorial up in this thing, and it should make a black rectangle. That's it for episode 1, but I'll be making episode 2 later. Anyways, I hope this was a good tutorial, and I'll be seeing you in the next episode. This is AP, and I'm signing out. Bye.